Ladies and gentlemen, moms and dads, grandmothers and grandfathers, please, if you would, take your seat. We're going to get started here shortly. Also want to remind everyone on the Facebook page, we are streaming live. So if you want to call someone that's not here on the field with us, a grandmother, a grandfather, someone that's at home, you can catch that on Facebook at the community school live stream. Beautiful day here at Crested View. Thanks for being here, everyone. And it's the Facebook with the Tony the Tiger, Tommy the Titan, not Tony the Tiger. That's for cereal. It's got the Titan as the logo. It's that Facebook, okay?
Good morning. We're going to get started. If everyone wants to stand for the graduates, here's the class of 2021.
Good morning. I've never seen you move so fast. Woo! All right. Good morning and welcome to the Crested Butte Community School. Last year, I thought that our graduation looked a little bit like a flea market as we circled up out there in our cars. And this year, our graduation looks a little bit like Alpenglow with the families bringing their own chairs. Thank you for that. And I know that the band is good. So here we go. Before we begin, I would like to make some introductions. This is Dr. Leslie Nichols, the Superintendent of Schools. For the rest of the people here, please stand. Mr. Tyler Martineau, School Board Director. Miss Ann Brookhart, School Board Secretary. Miss Cindy McKee, Secondary Assistant Principal. Miss Sally Hensley, Elementary Principal. Mr. Bob Picaro, Elementary Assistant Principal. Miss Lisa Hart, our guest speaker today, longtime science teacher. I am Stephanie Nemi. I stand in front of you as a parent and a secondary principal. And most importantly, the class of 2021. Seniors, this is your day, and it is a day of gratitude. None of us will ever forget the day that school closed last year due to COVID, March 13th. We all thought that school would be closed for just a couple of weeks, and then we would be back, and then reality set in. This year, we all came back with a new appreciation for an in-person school, in-person activities, and in-person activities. It was not always easy, but we made the very most of it. I am extremely proud of the fact that you sit here today and are graduating. Thank you so much. I also want to thank your teachers, parents, families, and friends, as well as the entire Crested Butte community for supporting the seniors all these years. Take a look at the Crested Butte News this week. An entire section is devoted to these seniors. That is a true community effort. I need 3 people to come up right now: Molly Frame, Julia Kidd, and Tally Nichols. Come here. Come here. And I need my 3 administrative couriers to come here. All of these seniors have had these teachers. They have spent hours through COVID planning graduation. It was unbelievable. I think they spent more time planning graduation than teaching their classes. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And Dr. Nichols has some words.
Good morning. What a glorious morning for us to gather in this way, in this incredible place. Could not be better. Hello, historic Crested Butte High School class of 2021. Family from near and far, faculty, staff, community members, seniors, you are here now on this glorious morning in this glorious place doing this thing called graduation, and we are all mask-free. Yeah. This thing is also called commencement, and you and all of us are indeed at a beginning. You of your post-high school lives, and all of us as we gently step, maybe even tiptoe, towards life after the SARS-CoV-2 novel coronavirus pandemic. We're not quite finished yet, but today marks a fabulous moment for you all to have this most unexpected school year in the rear view. Who knew you would have an entirely new set of vocabulary to close out your junior year and all through your senior year? Words like remote learning, risk reduction, illness protocols, face coverings, social distancing, contact tracing, respiratory etiquette, cleaning protocols, quarantine, ventilation practices, and in-person learning, as if we ever needed an adjective to describe the kind of learning that we know is best. Regardless, you all did it. You wore your masks, you sprayed down your desks, you kept a distance, at school at least, and it all worked. And parents, you did it too. You shepherded your beautiful children through disappointments and rules that no one wanted, so we could keep coming to what we learned truly is hallowed space, the halls and classrooms and gymnasiums of this building. We all did our part. We all stayed in it, and the rewards we will continue to understand throughout our lifetimes. We navigated relationships and learning with masks on and through a pervasive stress that we couldn't quite shake. Your social lives were limited, and your athletics and activities, which are still on, let's go Titan girls soccer and let's go track and field. And cheers to the inaugural season of our lacrosse team. But your athletics and activities, especially last spring and throughout this year, were reduced and without a full complement of fans and with masks most of the year. Despite that, you got to celebrate cross-country runners at state, a strong postseason play from boys basketball, a run for the hockey state title like none other, and a boys soccer state championship again. And your academic accolades continue unabated as well, with AP courses putting you on solid footing for college and a life of critical thinking. As noted again by U.S. News' recognition of Crested Butte High School as one of the top schools in the state and the country. Your faculty is without question as top shelf as it gets. And they're launching you into a life of curiosity, kindness, and passion is a treasured gift that you get to keep always. And through it all, senior year pandemic style, some things remain constant. You've come up in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. These views, this fresh air, these rivers, these mountains, the power of this place is yours always. Pandemic, or whatever the world throws at you next. You have this valley and these people behind you all the way. So let the next phase indeed commence. Crested Butte High School, class of 2021, we've got you, and you've got this. And now, teacher extraordinaire, Miss Lisa Hart.
All right. Yes! Class of 2021, thank you for giving me the honor of speaking at your graduation. I can realize I need to turn this a little because I'm going to be looking at you guys a fair bit. Family and friends, because that really covers everyone here. Thank you for joining with all of us today in honoring these young people. Yep. In pondering this time together and how best to address you, I remembered something my dad told me back in the day. Warning, corny dad joke coming. My dad, my dad went to engineering conferences from time to time, and at one of them he came back with this story. So second warning, this came from engineers. All right, there was this chicken that wanted to accomplish more than simply crossing the road. She wanted to branch out from the traditional roles afforded her as an egg layer in her flock. She decided rather than crossing the road, she wanted to lay an egg in the middle of a highway. That would get people crowing, she said. Remember, she only had a bird brain. As the chicken was mustering her courage to accomplish the feat of laying an egg in the middle of a highway, she consulted an older, wiser chicken, asking if she had any advice to share. Well, said the old hen, I guess I'd say, be quick and lay it right on the line. I'm taking this advice for my speech. Standing with you here today, I am filled with joy that expands inside me like a Topo Chico fizzy water that you shake up and the bubbles build. Cool science word, effervescence. Bubbles that cannot be contained but must come out. Well, let's pop the top. Yeah! Let me be clear. We are here to celebrate. Yes, each of you, what you have accomplished, and more importantly and fundamentally, who you are. Oh, I just get chill bumps looking at you guys. For this is a way that life works. What you do springs from, is rooted in who you are. So in this address, class of 2021, I want to prompt you and all of us joining you here today to remember, to acknowledge, and to rejoice over the life journeys that have converged here today. Before we dive into recounting the causes each of you give all of us to celebrate, I want to acknowledge our setting, as has already been done. We have finished a school year that was unprecedented in my lifetime and in yours. We started this year with huge uncertainties because of COVID. How long would we be able to meet in person in the school building? Would we be better online or in a hybrid system? How can we even best answer those questions as a school and as individual families? What will happen with our gatherings, sports teams, our dance classes and company, our socialize, AP tests, lunchtime, prom, family trips? And overall, that cloud hanging, would we stay healthy? Would our loved ones stay healthy? And then on top of the pandemic, as a society in the United States of America, we've experienced numerous events over the past year that have struck us deeply and in different ways. Events that could lead to division. Moreover, many of us and our families have felt the uncertainties of the economy in the midst of the pandemic and all these happenings. So why am I bringing these thoughts into this gathering of celebration? So that we can look these realities in the face and say, hard times, painful times, even sad times, do not cancel good times. We can, we must, and we will celebrate. For celebration is a vital part of being fully human. What do I mean by celebration? We experience something of the good that is in life, and you're feeling soar in joy and gratitude. Your heart swells to be so alive. Let's start right here and right now, because wherever you be, that's where you are. Every person here has a story leading up to this time and place, a story with ups and downs. Let's acknowledge that for each other. Turn to someone nearby right now and say, I made it. I made it. Yeah. Now, can we say it together, please? We made it. We made it. Yeah. I'm just saying. Just saying. Yep. They picked me. They knew. Sorry if you didn't, but as we participate in celebration today, what are we doing? We are recounting, and reveling. This day is graduation, and we are acknowledging the milestone accomplishment in each of your lives and the lives of your families. You have successfully completed the coursework and requirements to earn a high school diploma. You have been building up to this point for at least 13 years. Now you're here, and that is cause for celebration. Well done. I would like the causes for celebration to spread out. This is not just about a diploma. This is about many events in your lives in and out of school that flow from your decisions, your skills, your talents, and your character. In a small school and community, we celebrate with you your accomplishments and events that happen in all aspects of your life. We rejoice over you in all your facets. I'm going to paint some vignettes of moments worthy of celebration. My purpose is to spark your memories of experiences, yours or those of someone you know, and then to recognize the vitality and goodness that can flood into and out of us as we are people being human. To be clear, these examples are substantial, valuable, and not trivial. We celebrate one another as we recount our stories. Like when the puck leaves the stick or the ball leaves your boot and you know it's going exactly where you intended to put it, on offense or defense. We cheer for you. Or when you work the pencil, the brush, the pen, the camera, or stylus and create images and you capture a slice of life as you see it and feel it. I look at your art and it takes my breath away as you show me another way of seeing. Or when you have earned your turns up to the top of a ridge and you embrace the mountains all around you. The descent brings more celebration, linking turns like a dance with the mountain as your partner. And when you reach the bottom, looking back at your tracks, so good. Or when the last note of the song fades and you realize that you have played or sung the song the way you have always wanted to perform it. You brought life into the music. Or you shoot the buzzer beater, ace the serve, putt for the eagle, log the miles on foot, bike, or skis. Your muscles doing exactly what you knew that they could do. Or you think you can make a machine better by taking it apart and putting it back together again, possibly with added parts. The moment of truth comes, you fire the ignition, and the motor purrs like a kitten. No, that's my little putt-putt four-cylinder. You fire the ignition, and you hear the thunder from a herd of horses under your hood. And we hear it too. It's good. Or you build a building, you craft beautiful pieces of wood, and we get to see the life pop out of the grain and feel the smooth like butter finish. Maybe it's a bead in a weld that just couldn't get any better. Or when you put meat in the freezer and on the table for your family and other grateful people, and you know as a rancher and a hunter that you understand the circle of life up close and personal. Or when you dance, maybe on stage, maybe at a party or prom, maybe in your room, just you and the tunes, and you feel that strength and grace run together as you express your life with motion. I've phrased these from a mostly individual perspective, and personal celebration is possible and important. And we all know connection with other people is vital and powerful. Truthfully, some of our greatest reasons for celebrating are the people in our lives who we know and love and who know and love us. In a family, on a team, in a class, in a posse or tribe of friends, celebration compounds exponentially when we join with other people. Thus, we gather here today. I also started recounting with aspects that are not necessarily part of your diploma, because I want you to know, each one of you to know, that we see the whole awesome people that you are, with diverse aspects that we love and celebrate. And yes, this is high school graduation. Your diploma represents years of classes that you have taken, some required, some elective, and thus we acknowledge and honor the perseverance and endurance you have demonstrated to complete this course of study. But there is so much more to celebrate. As your teachers, coaches, counselors, principals, superintendent, and school board, we thrill to see your minds, bodies, and souls expand so that you can form logical, respectful arguments for what you see and think about the world, and respectfully consider other points of view in civil discourse. You can evaluate the validity of information. You can problem solve and design solutions, program computers, feel empathy for others, create original pieces of work, stories, art, music, essays, projects, experiments. You can take on tasks that are difficult because you want the challenge. You can work to form an inclusive community. You know how to allow your brain to be stretched by the rigors of an intellectual discipline. You can communicate in more than one language. You can appreciate beauty in its many forms. You investigate, and you feel wonder at what you discover. I love the times when I get to be with you as you realize you are apprehending the material at hand. You get it, and you know you get it. And I look forward to the times when you will return to visit. And we can celebrate again because you will have grown even more and know even more and come back and teach me something. That'd be awesome. You already have. Widening our celebration radius, one last notch. I want to speak to what you have meant to our community this year. Sometimes we call this day commencement, implying a beginning, true. I think for this class, a more fitting word is continuation. You have played a pivotal role this year in determining how we would be as a community, how we would do school in the midst of a pandemic. Your leadership as the senior class has been crucial in our school being successful this year. In this last part of my address, I want to recount specific practices that I have seen in this class, ways that you choose to do life. And I want to encourage you to continue in these paths. For to whom much is given, much will be required. And the leadership and strength you have grown here in our valley is needed in other parts of the world too. And now the requisite numbered list for a graduation speech. Please receive these 5 points as encouragement. For advice, I suggest you read what the first graders gave you in the paper. It's awesome. Number 1, keep showing up. Avoid the fear trap. This year you showed up in a mask to rooms and buses with windows open to the winter, to sporting opponents that might expose you to COVID, and to more computer use so that we were primed for when we had to go online. Or maybe you chose to go online to online classes because that was the pathway that was best for you. You will face more obstacles in life. Awesome! You know how to ask questions, how to let go of superficial points so that you can gain the larger prize. You know how to seek teaching, counseling, coaching, information. You know how to jump in and start a worthy endeavor, even in the midst of uncertainty as to its success. Number 2, keep people close. Avoid the materialism trap. This year you wanted to be in person, and you did what was necessary to keep us together. And you created even more connections, like the first Gunnison CB Valley-wide online talent show. I see rich, deep friendships in this class. For many of you, family spreads out to include more than your blood relatives. You have chosen to value your families and friends and honor them with loyalty and kindness. As you move on from here, keep first things first. Love people and life, and steward non-living things in ways that serve life. Number 3, keep pouring into your community. Avoid the self-centered trap. This year, some of you helped lead a letter writing campaign to get letters into the hands of older folks that had become isolated by COVID. Some of you contributed dependable work as an important part of the workforce in our town. Employers will continue to count on you this summer. Some of you give love and care to kids in our town as older siblings and as child care providers for other families. Some of you volunteer at church, at various nonprofit organizations in our valley, and on behalf of community causes. Wherever you are, in this valley or out of this valley, you have the tools to serve and to contribute to a community. You have empathy and a drive to make a difference. Number 4, keep being you. Avoid the comparison trap. I look at this class and see unique, wonderful individuals that know how to come together to make an inclusive community. This year, you chose to pull together and to be true to yourselves as individual people. In music, there is no harmony if everyone is playing the same note. I'm going to be rather blunt here. Many of the images and messages that bombard you from the media aren't there for your best interests. In many instances, somebody just wants to make money off of you or gain power over you or both. Please take the love of people who know you and your sharp critical thinking skills to bolster your strength in sorting out what is really worth paying attention to. And finally, number 5, keep the light shining. Avoid the cynicism trap. You know there is love, goodness, and true life in this world. You are part of it. Keep pursuing these treasures with the optimism of an idealist and the perseverance of a realist. I'm so honored to have been here with you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being part of our lives, for gracing our halls. And this isn't goodbye, it's what's coming next. Thank you, class of 2021.
Remember my joke about alpenglow? It's time.
Yeah. So sometimes life is a highway. Life's like a road you travel on. One day here and the next day gone. Sometimes you bend, sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. The world outside every dark and dark. The blues won't haunt you anymore. The brave are free in love with a sword. Come ride with me to the distant shore. We won't hesitate to break down the garden gate. There's not much time left today. Life is a highway.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Great. So, before this class crosses a bridge from childhood to bathe in the river of adult life, let us delve into the past. Today, some of us say "at last," two words that bear the weight of 13 years of school. But by looking to the past, we know we couldn't have made it without the community, our teachers, our friends, or our family. So it's easy to thank those who raised us. People say it takes a village to raise a child, but what they didn't say is that that village would be nested within the high mountaintops, or that friendly faces would greet every child that walks down the street, or that the village would teach every child how to critically think. In 2008, our guardians led us to the doors of Crested Butte Community School, a place that became our second home. Wise and loving teachers embraced us here as they guided us through not only lessons, but the complexities of life. Who knew giving up nap time would be so hard? We first learned to share our toys while we discovered the joys of learning. As we moved through the years, we progressed through thoughtfulness and conquered challenges while we researched ghost towns or explored our own backyards through the lens of scientists. In 2014, we experienced the painful reality that recess disappeared in middle school, but that was soon compensated by the excitement of having a locker and going to class in the same halls as the seniors.
In 2017, we emerged from the awkwardness of middle school. We learned the importance of responsibility and independence, skills that would carry us through the remainder of high school. Growing up in a snow globe, it was evidently difficult for some of us to adapt to the endless winters, despite the fact that the majority of us have lived here our entire lives. From rallying our friends from a collapsed one-person tent into our colossal fortress on a snowy sand dunes trip in 8th grade, to watching our classmates roam the halls in wheelchairs and crutches due to frostbite, I can only hope that this senior class has learned from the mistakes made in freshman and sophomore year. In 2019, we stepped into junior year, what we knew might be the most academically challenging year of high school. On March 12, 2020, none of us expected the toughest challenge our junior year had in store. Unbeknownst to us, that Thursday would be the last day that we entered Crested Butte Community School as juniors. After a few months of Google Meets and a little Tiger King to help us through quarantine, words cannot describe how grateful we all were to be able to return to this building last August. Now it's 2021. Thanks to our supportive community of teachers, parents, and classmates, our senior year was completed in person. Yes, completed in person. This isn't something many people can say as they graduate in 2021, which is why my classmates who stand on this stage with me today are endlessly thankful for the memories we were able to create this past year. Our adventures together as seniors have been some of the most memorable moments for me, and I'm sure many others can say the same. With all of our great migrations across the SNAP map, the memories are endless. From almost getting kicked out of bananas on senior ditch day, to suffering through the song Martin and Gina as wind and dust blew a few tents away. I'm not sure I can say that this class is ready for the real world, but I know we'll figure it out.
Tally told me I couldn't talk too fast, so I'm gonna do my best. Just as we celebrated our 100th day of school with candy and chocolate in first grade, we stand here today celebrating our last day of high school with laughs, tears, a community full of love, and surrounded by guiding mountains. Crested Butte is one of the most amazing places in the world. I mean, just look around you. Look at each smiling face, the immense beauty in every mountain ridge and crystal lake, and it's obvious why this little ski town is home to so many people. However, what I think makes Crested Butte so special is the fact that I've grown up with almost every single person I stand here with today. Almost all of us have known each other from the day we were born, and those of us who came later were immediately incorporated into our family. We made memories that will last a lifetime, and for that I'm forever grateful. I love you guys so much. Despite the fact that we have been together for so long, senior year brought us even closer, a closeness I could never imagine. These friendships are the parts of Crested Butte that I will carry with me as I move on to future endeavors. My class had taught me how truly amazing it is to have a group of people that care so much about me, and these classmates will influence how I set my expectations for my friendships in the future. Every triumph and downfall I've experienced thus far in life has been with you all. Class of 2021, I cannot imagine getting through the crazy experiences of high school without you. Thank you for teaching me how to truly live life.
Standing here today with our class and an audience was imaginable only a year ago. We can't reiterate enough how incredibly thankful we all are for the immense efforts everyone has put into this year to make it as special as possible for all of us. From taking extra precautions with COVID to putting together little creative events for the senior class to make it even more special before we all part ways. We want to take this opportunity to thank all of our teachers for preparing us not only for the extensive work that college has in store for us, but also for aiding us to be well-rounded young adults ready to take on the world outside of this bubble that we call home. We also want to thank our coaches for being another positive influence and for giving us space to express our talents and leading us to victory. Congrats, soccer boys. Woo! And hockey, we're so close, right there. Thank you to all the other community members who have given us the encouragement to finish high school with all the tools that we could have possibly needed. Thank you to all the parents for raising us in Crested Butte. This incredible landscape has helped us grow as the changing seasons. Though most of us won't be able to see our mother rock every single day, I can confidently say that the ever-changing aspen, flowing rivers, and incredible mountains will have lasting effects on each of us.
The present is ever changing, but today, in this moment that all of us have worked so hard to get to, it feels unreal. It's taken a lot to get to where we are today. We have gone through the trials of online school, but thankfully the disconnect that we felt over the computer screen has left, and we got to be here all together from the first day of senior year to our very last. Graduating in this amazing town with a class that feels like family, our high school experience has been truly unique and amazing. Everyone here decided each year of high school to work a little harder and get a little closer to our goal of graduating, and now that it's here, we can finally celebrate. Our past decisions shape us into who we are today, and I proudly think we can all agree that the decision to stay in this amazing community, to finish high school strong, and to find a togetherness will make a bright future for all of us.
This is our once-in-a-lifetime high school graduation, our time to shine, our time to advance to another part of our life. And while I'm sure many of you have to use the restroom, are hungry, or are really just ready to get your diploma and peace out, I ask you to sit in this exquisite moment right now. While many of us are wired to think about the future and what it holds, I ask you to pause and look around, surrounded by our remarkable home, the people we grew up with, our devoted families, and our thoughtful teachers and administrators. The world is adjusting back to normality, and I can finally see all of your wonderful faces. Faces that radiate hope, devotion, passion, confidence, and last, but certainly not least, good looks. When I look at all of you, I'm reminded of the kindness and lifelong friendships that I encountered when I moved to Crested Butte. You're some of the most accepting people, and I hope you carry that with you no matter where this ever-changing universe takes you. Thank you for welcoming me into this loving family. I am forever grateful for that. As we head off to follow our dreams across the country and the world, we're not alone. We are in this together. This isn't goodbye, class of 2021. I cannot wait to see the miraculous changes you bring to our world. It is and will remain one of my greatest honors of my life to walk across the stage with all of you. Never stop climbing rocks and dancing to Polo G. I love you all. This is our moment. Embrace it.
I stand here today with the task of inspiring us for the future. The idea of tomorrow, or next week, or next year. These major thoughts fill our heads but are intruded upon by little ones. I walk across this stage, a moment where everyone is watching, ready to receive a piece of paper that represents the past 13 years of our lives, launching us into the future, whatever that may be, as we reach the true brink of adulthood. More realistically, I walk across this stage and think about how I haven't practiced walking in these heels long enough. I am faced with the embarrassment that I've been listening to pomp and circumstance for years in preparation for this moment. The future is idealized. Our futures are idealized. We are so enticed by these major moments that when little thoughts creep in, we are caught off guard. A moment where we ask ourselves, what is to come? We all have well-practiced, big picture answers, college or work, but these do not create the future. It is the small, intrusive thoughts that shape our futures. Opportunity and uncertainty, excitement but also fear, joy foiled by sorrow. The future is defined by hope. Class of 2021, above all, through tragedies and triumphs, I wish you hope.
Okay, so yes, life is a highway, but life is also climbing a mountain range. We hit a false peak at middle school graduation, but luckily for all of us, there was quite a large hill left to go. The horizon is misleading most of the time as the mountain continues upward, and right now, we are at the top of our very first peak. From this view, we can see our next ascent, the next mountain of our future. College, sports, jobs, and experiences that will shape the lives we lead. We also know the unpredictability of each mountain in the range. We have our ideas of the trials we will go through and what our next big moment will be, but the beauty of the climb is the unknown, and we get the privilege of learning along the way through adventure. Yes, there will be rocks, storms, and scree fields in that future, and we are bound to make mistakes along the way. But with each descent comes an undiscovered path full of opportunity. This town, this community, has given us the resources to find our own solutions. They've taught us to embrace both the sun and the snow of our lives and take each moment with stride. It is now where we must climb into the future, backed by the friendships we've made, and know that we are ready for this next ascent.
Like the mountain bluebird, we innately know the cardinal directions that lead us to our next destination. Our upcoming series of informative experiences to further affirm our purpose. Do not be afraid of your potential at this time. Do not be deterred by false limitations or quelled by undue responsibility. Be humble in your conduct, but not what you ask of the universe.
Disrobe the inhibitions of high school and bask in the possibilities that your future now illuminates. Supported yet uninfluenced by our identities here, forge forth with developed or even completely changed presentations and roles of ourselves in the world. The beginning of our expedition has come to pass. As a crusader of a newfound aspiration or a long-cherished purpose, you determine what sights you see, sounds you hear, scents you smell, and moments you experience. Be a tourist, gasp in the sublime, indulge in the commodities, and live in the human experience. As cycles continue and the new leads back around to the old and the familiar, may the magnetic fields which guide us to our next destination also lead us back home, back here.
The uncertainty of the future is the one thing I've always been certain of. Life is an unpredictable cosmic force, and we are products of our own unique conglomerates of memories and experiences. That is what we carry into the future with us, knowing that out in the world, there lies more. We are all still works in progress. With change comes growth, and change is as inescapable as the futures that seem to be rushing towards us. The future is uncertain, but we shouldn't be afraid. A life lived in fear is a life wasted, and there is too much potential in Crested Butte's class of 2021 for us to be overtaken by fear of the lives that we have yet to live. The thing I'll miss most about Crested Butte is the night sky. The stars like little reminders of wishes that have come true, and the moon like a maternal force who has guided us through many a dark night. Luckily, the sky will always be above our heads, the ground beneath our feet, and no matter where the winds scatter us, when we look up, when it's dark at night, we'll all be looking at the same moon. Apart, but together, each living the lives that the world around us has been so long preparing us for.
Mr. Martineau, these seniors are receiving a diploma today because they have successfully completed a rigorous curriculum of 26 high school courses. They are ready to face new challenges and are certain to make a positive impact upon this complex world. It is an absolute honor and privilege to present to you the class of 2021.
Thank you, Mrs. Nemi, for confirming that this group of students has completed the necessary requirements for graduation. Completing these requirements is no easy task for students, for any student, and each and every one of you can be justly proud. It is especially true in this extraordinary year, and I think we do have to commend the efforts and the contribution that you have made to getting us all through, all of us, that is students, staff, and community. It is a great pleasure for me to accept on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Gunnison Watershed School District this Crested Butte Community School graduating class of 2021.
Ready, Alex? Alexander Matthew Bacani.
Nathaniel Francis Ball.
There we go.
Emma Rose Barnes.
Switching is weird. Naomi Marion Bilo Mockler.
Connor Bryce Bowes. I will. Florence Addison Bogardus Appleton.
Samuel Walker Brethauer.
Paige Buckaloo. Gus Rockwood Bullock.
Maxwell Frederick Carroll.
Adam Lamphere Collins. Miles Francis McKee Kress.
Oh gosh. Marlo Quinn Damaris.
Alexandra Marie Downey. Lucy Helene Durier.
Presley Amber Eaton.
Alex David Eldridge. Hayden Donald Favor.
Ready, Ty? Ty Glenn Fisher.
Owen James Forsyth. Hilt Manning Freeman. Thomas Augustus Garcia. Lily Elizabeth Hanna.
Colleen Renee Harris.
Ella Marie Haverkamp. Dylan Claire Hickey.
Oh God, I almost cried.
Carson David Hildebrandt.
Mary Louise Hill. Emmy Jen Hausman.
Hugh Bessler Holm.
Natalie Grace Kubisak. Parker Jacob Kula.
Ren Lange.
Byron Leal. Emma Jean Lovett.
Nico David Marchitelli.
Stella Emiya McKay. Jack Otis McLaughlin.
Hazy Azure Marie McNillis.
Yvonne Tio Michael. Nathan Richard Miller.
Miles Hayes Mitchell.
Jonah Michael Moss. Sylvia May Newman.
William Aiden Nemi.
John Allen Penny. Rowan Ernest Picaro.
Liam Bennett Price.
Stevie Rose Reinhardt. Caden Morgan Reynolds. Sorry, lost it there.
Amelia Vivian Rutherford.
Ava Haley Sally. Chloe Ann Schrammel.
Kate Allen Sherman.
Jigmet Diki Sherpa.
Max Bohumel Shull.
Joseph Garrett Scott.
Molly Rose Talbot.
Eleanor Mary Tipple. I am so sorry, Tippy. I don't know where that came from. I totally blundered that one.
Sophia Thayer Truex.
I was doing so well.
Matthew Milton Trujillo.
This one's ready. Dylan Isaac Tizer.
Logan Maxwell Utz.
Eleanor Hammond Veit.
Phaedra Elizabeth Verling.
Owen Paul Whiting.
Olivia Louise Wilson.
Connor Thomas Wurzing.
The 70th one in the biggest class ever. Carly Noel Wright.
So can I just do this first? I just want to give Okay, just a couple of quick things. Reminder that the parade through town happens after this, so please, after the ceremony, 10 minutes and to our cars. Thank you.
Okay, seniors, here we go. Take your tassel and turn it from right to left. The class of 2021, congratulations!